when you're doing experiments in chemistry and physics, it's generally pretty easy to control all of your control variables. You can get beakers that are identical size. You can make sure that the height is the same every time you drop something. When it comes to biology and dealing with human beings and other living things, you can't just get perfect carbon copies of people. Well, you can, but it's not ethically appropriate to do. So what you do is you grab large groups of people and you hope to control for things like gender and control for things that might affect your results by having a large enough random kind of variation that on average, if you're looking at a difference between the control group, which is your group that you don't give the active ingredient to, and your treatment group, which is the group that gets whatever the active ingredient is, that you can make meaningful comparisons. And so generally in science, when you're doing these kind of experiments, you want to choose the biggest sample size you can afford, or the biggest sample size your ethics people will let you do. So let's jump straight into there and have a look at option B and go, all right, so this is our largest kind of sample size. But if you have a look, well, the number of hours of exercise per week seems to be kind of reasonably, varied across the two groups. But the height, people are consistently taller in the control group to the treatment group. And so that kind of works against it. So that one's out as a large sample size. That's way too small. You're not going to be looking at anything there. And so now we're looking at A and C as our possible reasonable sample sizes. And if you have a look at across most of the variations there, you can see that both of them are reasonably comparable. In fact, the difference between those is in group A, but because it's a bigger sample size, like it's 6 compared to 4, and they're still very, very small sample sizes, but because it's a bigger sample size, for those reasons, A would be the most appropriate choice.